Magar Shaman stools and related Magar Shaman objects which reveal a bit about the symbolism. So what's interesting here is there's a lot of symbols that connect to fertility and the relationship between male and female energy, and also to sort of power and like penises and vaginas as power and giving birth and so on. So I'll just run through the images and then I'll sort of show some of the relationships. So here's a Magar Shaman stool with a ram on one end and two Nagas either side, so snake gods. And then inside this space is a little bit like the tam, or the temple doorway. So you've got this praying shaman figure above a fish, so probably related to the underworld here, because you've got the watery pathway and the Naga's like a doorway into the underworld. And the ram is a symbol for fertility. Quite often underneath you would have a penis under here. And the shaman will sit on the stool as a way of anchoring themselves to into the energy of the healing. And they'll also sit the person being healed or people being healed on the stools. So it's a little bit like Islam using their prayer mats. So the moment their repeated pattern of the daily prayer is at the moment they touch the prayer mat, they're anchored into that altered state of being in the religious world or the spiritual world. So I'll show you through a number of other stools. So again, you've got maybe an ox or a buffalo. The Nagas again, but this time with the water around the outside and a sun or a moon, and underneath a big penis. So again, you've got that feeling of the activating principle, the fertilizing activating principle. Then again, following through, you've got the Nagas. So look, you've got the relationship between a female figure with the vagina and the male figure with the erect penis, and the Nagas again like a pathway. The ram with big horns. This time it doesn't show the penis underneath, but you can see this is like an activating space. It's a magical space that the shaman sat on to bring that energy out. So following up on the symbolism, very heavy, very hard wood. So this time you've got a sexy couple in a sort of tantric sexual embrace. The ram again on the front with the big horns and great big testicles at the back. So it's got that feeling of vitality and virility. And parallel with that are, how to show you. So you've got, this is also a Magar Shaman piece with the tantric sexual couple in their embrace. I don't know if you can see in there with the camera, but the penis penetrating the woman, but she's in prayer. So it's not just ordinary sex, it's something transformative, something circulatory happening here. And the testicles at the back. So they're involved in some sort of tantric process of completion, of virility, of activation. So you look at them. I've got another bronze here somewhere. There. So again, you've got a Magar Shaman bronze, probably for a tam, a Magar temple, with again the male and female figure, with their embrace and the testicles at the back. So you can see this imagery is repeated again and again in different ways. And here you have a pregnant lady giving birth. You see legs already coming out. This is a Magar Magar stool, again the ram on the side, but surrounded with flower of life. So that process of rebirth, of nature opening up and repeating itself in the constant constant renewal, constant rebirth. So what's interesting here is if you saw one of these figures on their own, you'd think it was just a sexual figure. When you see them together, you can see that, and the fact that it's, say, on the stools, you can see that this now has another meaning. It's to do with the balance of the male and female energy. It's to do with the activating principle of nature, the reproductive action of nature going into the shamanic practice. So suddenly that begins to make sense of all these male and female pairs in the bronzes. Again, usually with the penis and vagina visible. So both in prayer, the same as this figure is in prayer. So the female figure is in prayer, but with the vagina showing. And then you have other little statues. These are altarpieces, but look, with a sort of double. You see, even though the male character isn't present, you can't see him. You've got these two figures in one, and there with the baby and the breasts out and the hands down but the vagina showing, and then this sort of water type symbol around the bottom showing the feeling of fertility and activation of the energy. And then within the bronzes you have a lot of things of cows and rams. So they have their herds, and they're travelling from all the way from Tibet all the way across Nepal into India with their herds, and coming backwards and forwards. So that sense of renewal, of fertility, of life and death is a constant aspect within their lives, and also within their spiritual practice. So here it's very interesting. You've got a cow, it's a little temple bronze, with a calf, so that sense of renewal again and birth. But you've got this interesting cow with an extra leg hanging out of its shoulder. Very occasionally in Nepal or India or Tibet, you have animals with sort of birth defects with extra legs and things. And in Hinduism, they're regarded as being special, as having, so if you have a baby with two heads, it's seen as special, or a snake with two heads, it's seen as particularly vital or magical. So you've got this cow here, and I'm told that sometimes when they have a cow that has an extra leg coming out of its shoulder blade, that those cows are particularly worshipped, and they travel around with their itinerant sadhus from village to village, getting offerings and being sort of seen by the locals. So then you have this. You can see the Naga symbolism is picked up again in, you've got a little temple bronze with a snake as a staff, but this time with the trishul, with the trident for Shiva, and again the Nagamala worn in their ritual stuff for cleaning the energy, for activating, for removing headaches, for pulling the negative energy out of someone, for literally moving over the body, for renewing the energy, and also used in prayer for entering that divine state, for entering into the underworld, for connecting with the Nagas. So again, you've got other symbols. This is a stool I found recently, and I've never seen another representation of a rabbit in Nepali iconography. But you have a rabbit here with like eating, but the rabbit also is a symbol of fertility. So unless you knew about all this birth and sex and renewal, you would wonder why is there a rabbit on a shaman stool? And so it's about that fertility and renewal and birth. Absolutely beautiful. These are probably hundreds of years old. You see all the wear from its being used with this hardwood, very lovely sculptural objects. And then there are other stools. This is probably from another tradition, but I've included it because of the stools. And you see, again, you have a Vajra, so a thunderbolt. So you've got the knot, which is like the unified element, the unity of all the opposites, and then the four directions or the four elements and the void running through. And this is the activating place for the shaman. So even in other traditions, you've got this thing of the active force. And I have another stool which has got nagas all over it, made out of a root of a tree. And then there's a couple of other figures just to share the theme. So you've got the male shaman behind, and the female shaman in front, the pregnant belly, and the vagina here. And on a decoration which looks a little bit like the headdresses that the lamas wear. So this one is probably not Magar. This is probably Tamang, or maybe Sherpa. But you've got the same symbolism running through again. And then this one is probably Magar, where you've got the female figure, the baby, vagina is sort of open, and then the man here, the male shaman figure praying, with the penis showing, so back to back. And you see even in that figure, where it wasn't showing with the second figure, you had that duality of the paired up opposites. And then this is also Magar Shaman, but you have a tiger. So really simple, wonderful, vital sort of force. But in this case, the tiger as a powerful figure, as an emblem of strength and energy and vitality, and the connection to nature. So the tiger is often seen as the bridge between man and nature. And then here is a Magar Shaman drumstick, but in the form of a penis. So you see the split end of the penis, and so there's a vital force for the drumming as they go into the trance. They're literally drumming the energy of their vital force. And an interesting thing if you practice something like Tai Chi or Qigong, or if you like I'm an artist, there's a direct relationship between the sexual energy rising up, and that force could either go into sex, or it could go into creativity, or it can come up further into the spiritual. It's the same energy that you're connecting up through the chakras. And so it comes up through the base chakra, up into the sexual center, rests in the belly. At that point, when it's in the belly, it's still pretty sexual. But as soon as you connect it to the diaphragm or the heart, then you have the opportunity to make a choice. What direction do I take this in? So here they're directly showing you something deeply esoteric, and at the same time very, very important, because this is your raw material, and it's something that has really got mixed up in Christianity, for instance, where they've suppressed the sexual, and you need that sexual energy actually as the energy, as the driving motor, if you want to reach the higher levels in spiritual practice. So I've done a lot of work with people who are meditating, who had got stuck, where they're coming maybe from their heart and their spirit, and they've zoomed up and up and up, and then they've run out of steam, and they've ended up in a sort of spiritual limbo, and they need to connect all the energies together, including the darker aspects, including the raw nature, including the wild, the aggressive, the sexual. All those elements have to be present with the heart, with the spirit, with the refined thought, so that you have that vitality and wholeness. If you separate out something, you end up disconnecting, and you don't have the full richness of your own personality, of your own identity, and you don't. Then you have blind spots if you miss something. So again, this is a Magar shaman figure wearing its feather crown, with drumming on the drum, and you see the big penis and testicles sticking out, and covered with bells, where they're wearing the belt and harness. A very simple, vital figure. It's covered in bits of mud and the remains of offerings which have been thrown all over it, with bits of yogurt and other things that have long since decayed. So you can see there's this sort of massive vitality which is in the symbolism, it's in the objects, and something which at first seems mysterious is absolutely a key to how to have how to keep the energy balanced, how to focus your energy, how to enter that world. You can enter that world by being present with all the different levels of your energy at once. So I hope that helped. I hope that was really interesting, and please let me know if there's other videos you'd like. Do subscribe, and I'll see you at the next one. Thank you.